All right, we'll go ahead and call this meeting to order of the Historic Preservation Review Board. This is a citizen board appointed by the town council, the town of Abington, to interpret and uphold the historic preservation ordinance. So, when it's your opportunity to come up and speak and make a presentation on your project, if you would just come on up to the podium and introduce yourself and give us your address before you get started, that would be helpful. Roll call.
Mr. Owens? Ms. Hartshorn?
Here.
Mr. Weaver?
Here.
Ms. Wright?
Here.
Mr. Geisler?
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. All right, approval of the minutes. We have two sets of minutes to approve, the July 7th, 2021 regular meeting and the August 2nd, 2021 preservation plan work session. Does anyone have any comments or corrections with regard to the minutes?
There's some misspellings.
Okay. Looks like we've got just a few name misspellings here from the July 7th meeting. So Bill Prince spelled with a C instead of a Z. And Mr. Ayeb, am I pronouncing that correctly? It's
Yes, you did.
A-Y-E-B, so we need those changes.
Is it?
That's it. Are there any other changes?
Those corrections, I move we approve.
Okay, it's been moved. Is there, that we approve the minutes for those changes? Is there a second?
A second.
Roll call?
Ms. Hartshorn?
Aye.
Mr. Weaver?
Aye.
Ms. White?
Aye.
Mr. Geisler?
Aye. All right, next, certificate of appropriateness. We have one item that got added to the agenda. I think it's gonna go pretty quickly. That's with regard to the Barter Theater. Why don't we go ahead and take that one up first?
Did we have another set of minutes to approve?
What's that?
Did we have another set of minutes to
We
approve?
did. Resolution.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
I thought we did them both.
Sorry,
No,
you
I
hold on a
wasn't here
second.
for
Just
the
one
second
second.
one, so I can't-
Okay, we've got the second preservation plan work session minutes. Are there any changes to those?
I move we approve those as written.
It's been moved to approve as written. Is there a second?
A second.
Okay, roll call.
Ms. Hartshorn?
Abstain.
Mr. Weaver?
Aye.
Mr. Geisler?
Aye.
Ms. White?
Aye.
Okay, now, if you would, thank you.
Wasn't here for that meeting.
My name is Ross Egan. I live at 2018 Florist Road in Abingdon. How are y'all doing?
Good.
So I appreciate you getting me in here in short time. We recently announced, I'm speaking on behalf of the Barter, that we're opening at September 30th. And since I've been here about 2 years ago, just before I got here, we had named the Smith Theater, Barter Stage 2, the Smith Theater in honor of Steve and Debbie Smith and their family and all they've done for our community. And it's been on our plans to update it. The signs, since I got here, we were about to do it right before the pandemic hit. So once we knew that we were going to be back indoors on September 30th, we opted to see, working with Bristol Signs, if we were able to make those changes to the signs. The signs, I believe the artwork was shared. Essentially, it's just a change in text. We're taking away some of the checker pattern that is on the sign. It's all the signs that are on the building. The only other addition in terms of this artwork is we were going to, the green metal that is behind it, we were going to paint it black, if it was agreeable to y'all. And that was the extent of the changes that we're making. If you were able to take us up today, which I appreciate you getting me in, then I was confident we could get it done by the time we open on September 30th.
Are there any questions, comments?
I'd like to I'm just going to clarify that it's the same sign, and you're
Yes.
just changing the text and the color of that
Yes,
trim.
yes.
With that in mind, I move that we approve the sign change as presented.
It's been moved. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Roll call?
Ms. Hartshorn?
Aye.
Mr. Weaver?
Aye.
Mrs. White?
Aye.
Mr. Geisler?
Aye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Yee, welcome back.
I try not to be here, but you guys keep bringing me back.
Your monthly meeting.
Yes, yes.
We apologize.
No, 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 no. Accepted anyway. So, I think we're gonna start from, with the awning. Would you like me to say something? or
Yes,
you
just
wanna
that you-
start the question?
Yeah, just explain what you're.
Okay, that is an awning. So it is straight and then it curves like a half a circle. And I want that shape instead of the existing one.
Is this following your wooden pergola?
No, this is a separate thing.
Is it a different place?
No, it's the same place.
Oh, okay.
This is the facade.
I think we need to,
Go
you
ahead,
do
I'm
that every
sorry.
time I speak?
That was rather ominous.
No, what did you say?
I think we need to approve the floor plan and elevation change before we approve the awning that goes on the new front facade.
Okay. Back in the days, I believe Mr. RL was here and explained the facade, right?
Yeah.
Well. I think it was an approval back then, but I really forgot what was the approval for. This is the facade.
Yeah.
This is the facade. It used to be that window here, then it's gonna be covered with, it's gonna be taken off and covered with bricks.
Yeah, and the existing doors
And the
here.
existing doors here.
Yeah.
So the only window's gonna stay is the big one, the one in the middle. And this wall, this is brick too. The architect did it to where he shows what's gonna be new. So this is old brick and this is the new brick. All of it's gonna be same color, which is white. And also, this wall, it's gonna continue all the way to right to this corner, same level. And it's gonna be same brick, same color. That small window staying, and this is the new wall, the new door. And I'm ready with the questions.
So right now, this is the gate,
Yes,
okay, that we approved this gate, and now you're taking it down?
yes,
Okay.
And there's gonna be about 4 feet between the edge and the Avenue
Yes.
Mercantile.
yes.
A gap that goes all the way back,
Like a little alley or something.
yeah.
So you're totally changing the front appearance of the building?
Yes, to be honest, the reason I brought the gate the last time, because there was no fun to do all this. And I needed an area for the patio and to do all that. And we needed to make it look nice and pretty and everything. So that's why we did the columns and the gate. And now that I can do this construction, we are gonna do a new facade and the brick in there. And Mr. Arlen was here like a few months ago.
He was.
Yes, and he described most of it. And
It's difficult to see.
I'd like to see you put the gate here to prevent public from walking down through there. Unless you intend for them to use that as a passage back to parking or
That
something.
little
No.
alley,
no,
you still have the gate, right?
as in, I mean, I don't want them to get it, but we'll put a gate.
Can you use the gate you already have, or what's it?
It's too big. I mean, I can use part of it.
Yeah,
The
Yeah.
same style?
Yeah, the same style, I can use part of it, yeah. Because it has 3 parts, one in the middle and 2 on the side.
I think this is a good solution because it allows accessibility here for the disabled, which he doesn't have now.
Yes, yes. So many issues are resolved, really. The waiting area, the handicap, you used to, when you leave from here, it used to be like a, pretty much a mountain to get outside. And many people almost like tripped and fell. So now we have almost same level, this floor and the sidewalk. And also, there is a ramp for handicap here, which is 9 feet or 10 feet. So
And then your
it's gonna
waiting
be- it's gonna be
area is
nice.
back,
Huh?
the waiting area is at the end of that.
This is the waiting area,
Okay.
all of this.
And this is where you want the awning on this
Yeah,
clear spot.
yes, the awning is right here. This, and then it comes back half a circle on this.
Well, this is gonna be a complete reworking of the appearance of this building. It's gonna look nothing like it did before.
Sure. The front picture.
I cannot say 100% that RL said, explained it all and you approved it all, but
What,
we talked about it, I don't know what we talked about.
Well, this
So-
facade is gonna be different than what RL presented.
Yeah,
when
RL
did
did,
RL make this presentation?
it was back, it was a while
Several
ago, but
months
it
ago.
wasn't
Ago.
this.
Yeah.
It was, he was making a presentation to extend the gate.
Right.
That's what RL was doing.
Well, no, yes and no. I mean, RL was
And fix the
putting
door, yeah.
leaving the gate in place and putting a blank wall behind it, so
Right.
that the gate would just be fake.
For
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
Yes.
And so what this
But that was
does,
an addition. I mean, that was closing the area and enclosing it with a wall, right?
yes, and this does the same
This is reworking
thing.
the original facade of this building.
Right,
in a
because
whole
you're
different
losing this
way.
door,
Mhm.
you're losing this door and
And you're
changing this window.
right, and you're rebricking and changing.
Yes, rebricking it, yeah. You're losing this door, you're rebricking it. You're losing this window, rebricking it. And when you cover this, when you enclose this area with the rest of the dining room, you're just adding brick here, that door.
You're reusing the door you have,
What door? The gate?
the
Door.
glass door.
The glass,
You
the front
reusing it?
door.
No, no, it's gonna be another door and it would be the same as you approved before. I don't wanna make it difficult on you.
I got
See,
you.
I
Self
think,
and your-
I think when you were here before, you were enclosing your courtyard to the side of your building. You were enclosing that. You were,
No, that was the plastic, because of the cool.
you know, I mean, when Mr. Light was here.
When Mr. Light is here, he was talking about this wall over here.
Right, but now you're talking about the original front of this building, taking a door out, re-breaking it in a different color, and making it totally different.
I think Mr. RL mentioned that that door is not gonna be there anymore. It's gonna be moved here.
Are these different drawings than we saw?
Yeah, these are from
From another
August, or
These- okay.
July 26th.
Oh, okay,
These
we
are from
have-
Peyton Boyd.
Right,
These are
This is
Peyton.
Peyton Boyd's drawings.
okay. So they're, it's a
They're,
new.
they're a
it's
different
Pretty much a
time.
new idea.
It's a new plan.
Yes, basically forget what was presented before, and
Go off of
this
these.
is the new plan.
And everything, you're finished with everything on the side.
Yes. Little bit left.
Something you have to come to us for?
No. It's just I haven't finished it, that's all. The time. I open 10, I close 10. I do most of it.
Well, so, okay, my concern is, so, this building is it's in a, sort of on the fringe of the historic district, and it's, in terms of the contribution to the historic district, it's not a major building, but it is in the historic district, it is an older building, and this is gonna totally change the appearance of the building, and it's going to be a change that's gonna basically be irreparable. So,
What's irreparable?
means you just
Can't
can't
change
undo it
it
easily,
back.
like some of the additions you've done and some of the things you've done on the side. 10 years from now, 20 years from now, somebody could decide they didn't wanna go that route and undo it, but, you know, there's just really no way to reconcile that this fits within our guidelines. So if we're going to allow it to happen, then we're making an exception for some reason, but, you know, your building is in the historic district, and we have our guidelines, and this is gonna be a major change. This building's not gonna in any way, shape, or form look like it did before. And so, are we just gonna, can we do that?
It's just a lot more than it's a whole lot more than what Mr. Light presented.
Well, the project I don't mean it, whatever, how you, somebody negatively understand I mean it, but the project really has to happen. I mean, not like it has to happen, like I will do it. No, I mean, it should be done, really, because there's so many issues in that building that has to be changed,
I don't,
really.
Maybe we should come
And-
down to the building and let you.
And this is the
So-
only way of doing it.
What do you think?
Maybe we need to come down and see the building and talk to you and bring your plans and really fully understand what you're doing.
Could you tolerate a small delay if we did that?
Well, I mean.
Could you tolerate a small delay
Well,
to allow us to have,
It all
to
depends
see
how
it?
much is that delay. There's another side of the story I wanna
okay,
tell you about.
okay.
Well, as you know, 4 years I've been doing this business. I had 8 days off in 4 years, believe it or not, Christmas and Thanksgiving. And I am working so hard to make that business an asset to the town. So it is time to take a vacation, really. So while they're doing this, I wanna hit 2 birds with 1 stone. Take the vacation and let them do it while I'm not here.
When's that supposed to happen?
That will be the beginning of September. So maybe 3 weeks from now. So it's all connected together. If it's all connected together, so if you tell me, yes, we'll visit you sometimes this week, I say, yeah, why not? No problem, you're welcome. I'll spread the red carpet. But if, ma'am, you say we cannot do it only next month, then it will drop the whole thing
Well,
in the water.
Well, I don't hear what.
I don't really have an issue with it, simply because it's not a contributing building. I think the only reason this building is in the historical district is because somebody wanted to swing around and get the depot and make not create an island. So I understand their guidelines, but they are guidelines and not requirements.
So what you're saying is that currently there's not any ADA compliance.
Yeah, he's improving the
So he's
toilets, he's
improving
improving the
that.
accessibility, and the facade is not a contributing to our historical district. I don't mean to be rude here, but if the building were gone, it would not adversely impact our historical district. So I have no issues with approving this.
Well, however, I agree with the fact that it's not a contributing building of the first order, but it is within the district, and so it has to fall within our guidelines. And I think our only issue here is that we're just slightly blindsided by it seems to be so much different than what we thought, and it's just that facade to make sure, that it's not completely inconsistent with the way it has looked before in a negative way. I mean, I would be willing to go up there and look at it with the architect, to see some more detailed pictures of it, what it's going to look like.
I have no problem for y'all visiting me, no problem
Would-
at all.
Would that be out of the question?
I'm just, I think that's fine if we can do it.
Quickly?
Yeah.
Thank you for that word, quick.
Yeah, I mean, in order to safeguard, the priority of our guidelines that support the district, which is our job,
I respect that.
then, at least a small delay, just to ease our minds about what it
Yes,
is
yes.
really going to look like.
No problem whatsoever. Yeah, and I'm really attached to it, and I really wanna do it, is because this facade, everything in the building is connected to that facade. If we don't approve that facade, it's not a threat, but if we don't do that, then everything inside, we will lose the benefit of it.
Okay.
The waiting area, tomorrow you come and get pizza from me on a Saturday night or Friday night or any other night. It is so busy, you literally standing waiting for your pizza in front of the family, eating right there, you can literally know who is he calling and what is he texting.
Yes.
Literally, really. So that's why I'm doing all this, to have a designated area for them to wait for their food. Also, the handicap issue. The handicap, not much of them, they come to my business. I'm losing pretty much most of them. So the very, very few of them, they come through the patio, the existing one, and they make it a whole turn around, and they get in.
Oh, right.
Some of them, they see the door and they just leave. They don't come in. Not to mention the bathrooms. I mean, how many people here? It's not gonna hurt my business. But literally, you don't wanna come to my bathroom, to be honest. Yes, I mean, I've used it many times, it's unbelievable. I mean, I don't wanna go in detail, but you don't wanna come in.
So if can we come Wednesday afternoon? Are you all available for that?
I am,
Or we can do
I have,
Thursday if that's better?
I have a 4 o'clock appointment on Wednesday. I couldn't get there until 5, but I could get there at 5.
I can do 5 on Wednesday.
Sure.
I think I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah. Is that okay with you?
Yeah,
5
y'all
o'clock
gonna come
Wednesday?
hungry or full?
Well,
No,
we're
we
not
can't be
gonna come to
bribed.
use the bathroom, but,
Okay, we will, so Wednesday at 5.
Well, thank you.
No, thank you.
Thank you very much.
and also, if there are any materials you need us to look at, could you have them there Wednesday as well?
That's what I was.
I'm gonna-
It's all gonna be painted
Yes,
through.
yes, correct.
With the same color it already is, you're not changing any of that, okay.
Yes.
I guess we'll need to.
Could we have it there or come right down?
You are
I
gonna
don't
paint it black.
know why it
Yeah,
couldn't
one
be
day we're
there.
gonna
I
paint
think
it
we just
black.
need to advertise that it's on site and that it's, you know,
Okay.
that it's an official, we'll need to go
Okay,
through.
so
No,
5
okay.
o'clock
Why
at
don't we
your,
do that
at,
then?
be in front of the
I do
building.
think we should
Yes.
do accommodating.
Is there something else?
Yeah, well,
No,
we can't do the
didn't talk
awning.
about the
Oh,
awning
the
yet
awning, we
because
can do it until we, huh?
right, we
Yeah.
have to look at the rest of it before we can discuss it.
And then I'll show you the awning in there.
I appreciate that,
Okay.
okay.
Actually, one more thing, we might.
Wait, let me ask, I'm sorry, is there gonna be a courthouse meeting on Wednesday at 4? No, sir. There's not, okay.
Just maybe you put it on your mind.
It'll be at 5 o'clock and 6 o'clock.
Now there will be.
Okay, that is a picture from the back of the restaurant.
The what?
The back of the restaurant,
Yeah.
that's below that sign.
Yeah.
Okay, right in that corner, we might talk about it on Wednesday. I want to put a shed in a block, nothing but a box, drawn by 10. That's it.
Well, that's a separate application and everything as well, is that right?
Well, we can
So
do
we're
this.
still gonna talk about
We
it.
can talk about
Show
it.
it
Yes,
to us and
we're
then
gonna
you can
discuss.
come back.
All right,
Yes,
we will be there Wednesday at 5.
I'm sure we'll see you
yes, see you.
Wednesday and
Okay,
next
thank
month
you.
as
Thank you
well.
so much.
That's the best way to avoid that.
Okay, Washington County Courthouse.
We don't wanna be here, but
It's close, I just keep coming back.
That's gonna be the line.
It is gonna be, it's gonna be the line for a long
We
time.
we're having a competition to see who comes here more.
So that's hard. That's a hard act to follow right there. So I'm Bill Prince with Burwell Construction, and I'm glad to be back. First, I want to thank Janice. She has been phenomenally helpful through the process for me. She does a great job. So thank you very much.
She does.
So she does an awesome job for everybody. So we have submitted our application for appropriateness, and would love to see that get approved tonight if possible. In the packet, we have the site plan showing the expansion. Okay, and then we go to the first elevation, if you could scroll down, please. showing what, as we talked about previous with the different bricks. We have laid the sample panel for you all to view on site, okay? The next rendering shows the detail calling out the different brick that we have on the sample panel and the locations, okay? So I'm just gonna run through this. Y'all stop me if you have questions as we go through, okay? We've added to our application the rear, showing the brick in the rear, how it adds, and also the windows and stuff in the rear of the building. And then some material details showing the different bricks, the aircraft sample paint colors, the proposed sign on the lower porch, and the information concerning the FRP type of trim to use on the building. This photograph of proposed window type, black railing on the porch, and then larger detailed drawings or photos of the brick samples.
Where, scroll back up to that, where does that occur, where the railing is shown?
That lower right-hand picture.
Yeah, that doesn't really occur anywhere.
That does not occur. That is giving you an example of what the railing will look like on the
All right.
front entrance and steps. Okay?
I thought you were gonna modify the front of the existing building or something.
No, it's just an example,
Okay.
okay?
Yeah.
And so paint colors, looks at the railing, and then the sign, okay? And we use other examples that we had of other things in the area. So, we've submitted the application. We hope that you found it complete and detailed. And so I'll open it to questions concerning the application itself as well as the sample panel that you got the opportunity to view.
I'll make an introductory remark.
Okay, great.
And thank you, all of you for coming so many times. I know that probably I won't be the only person that thinks this and says this, but, we appreciate all the time that you've come, and we also know that you appreciate with us the difficulty of new construction. It is the most difficult thing.
Yeah.
And this particular one being spread over 2 or 3 lots is very difficult. And we've gotten to a really good point with that design. I think we all did like that,
We
at
did.
some point. And so now we're down to the minutia of it.
Mhm.
And so I hope you will forgive us, me anyway, because I bet I'm not the only one, who has still a few lingering questions to ask about the detail piece of this.
Happy to answer those and appreciate the questions.
Well, the overarching comment is that both the design and the materials need to be consistent with the surrounding area.
Mhm.
And so yes, I've been up and looked closely at what you've put up there. And I just have 1 or 2 questions to ask you to clarify,
Okay?
just from my point of view, in looking at, for instance, particularly the light-colored material that is reflective of the Treasury building.
Mm-hmm.
It is very, very sheer and plain one color without any variation in it, like the Treasury building, has a little bit of marbling look to it. It's a
Right.
little bit off grayer than this is. This is
Mhm.
pretty stark. I don't totally object to it. I just would like for you to talk about it. And the one thing, though, that does cause me to question the material itself is the material for the foundation.
Right.
That is, if you look at those foundations, they have a lot of them. If you look at the courthouse, for instance, it's got different colors of stone. It's real stone, I guess it's limestone, real stone. But it certainly is not that looks like it's a piece that's just going to be repeated all the way along the line. Same color, same outline, same profile, which could, get to be right in your face and be something that even you would not be happy with. So that's just a question that I have. And then, I don't know that we've gotten details yet on the height of the columns and and maybe you have, and I just didn't read it properly. The cornices and the columns and all that, it's just that.
We have not detailed that as far as the
Okay.
dimensions
Right.
of the trim pieces and the stuff,
Okay.
no.
Okay.
It was indicated that
Okay.
the elevation and rendering.
And that's really that's my comment, is that generally the materials being consistent and therefore appropriate to the surrounding neighborhood.
All right.
I do think, I think you've put a different set of bricks at the top, maybe?
We did. We wanted to show that the left-hand side of the sample, which is also the left-hand building or the west building,
Yes.
the contrast between the midnight brick, and the Raleigh court was actually more than what we anticipated when we got the sample up. When looking at the boards, it didn't show that big a difference. So what we wanted to show was when we took the Raleigh court
Mhm.
and put it on top of the Dust Chocolate, with the east building, that's a nice transition. So what we were going to propose is that we use the east building brick, the Dust Chocolate,
Uh-huh.
as the accent around the Raleigh court, not the midnight mist.
Oh, okay. And I wondered, my other just smaller concern was that on the east building,
Mhm.
that brick is really, really, all the same.
It is.
And which makes it look pretty contemporary.
Mhm.
And I know that in looking at the earlier addition to the courthouse, that brick does have a more mottled effect. I think you even have you given us a sample of that somewhere?
We
I just went and
haven't-
looked
no,
at it.
You looked at it. We did not bring a sample back.
Okay, I went and looked at it, and it just looks, the whole thing of just trying to avoid that real contemporary, brand-new material
Okay.
look is my question. And
Okay.
that's really all I'll say.
Okay.
Just to build on that a little bit, so I guess first of all, with regard to the brick, I think when you were here before, we were very much, in giving sort of preliminary feedback,
Mhm.
we were focused very much on the color of the brick. That
Mhm.
was what you all that's what we were all talking about. And it was very helpful for you to put the mock-ups up. That was extremely helpful to see those there. But, what that revealed to me was just what Ms. White's saying is that, our goal here is to make this addition not dramatically stand out, to be consistent with the rest of the historic district. And so, and I think you're exactly right that darker brick was much darker in real life than what we were anticipating. I think that is a problem.
It was good.
The brick on the eastern part, while the color is good, it's very, very even. Each
Mhm.
brick is exactly the same, and I think the difference is, there's, I guess, tumbled brick that's available that has, I guess you can get brick that has a varying range of colors
There,
within
you
the
can get,
same
yep.
basic color, and that you can also, I think the 1991 edition, I guess the brick is it tumbled, is that what it's called when it has?
Some are called tubble, some are called hand-formed. They're different terms for the different shapes of brick, yes.
So, once we agree on the color, are that type of brick available instead of these really even, modern-looking bricks?
What you can't pick a brick color of this brick. They don't make it also in a tumble or a tutor or.
But we could get a consistent color in tumble.
We can get closer.
Similar.
Yeah, you can get some tutor or tumbled or hand formed. There's all kinds of different brick. So it can't just be this color and a different shape. It's gonna be a different brick,
Right.
okay? So, but I understand the concern, okay? And I think I can address some of those concerns tonight as well.
I mean, because it would look fine if that were
Okay.
being built out in a shopping area.
Mhm.
But the challenge is trying to make this fit in without looking so different.
All right?
And also, I think I'm sorry.
No, that's one of the other
At
comments.
the last meeting, I understood you were gonna come back with you were gonna look at actually using real limestone instead of this precast product. And I agree with Ms. White that the precast product is very stark and it's going to really stand out. So were you able to did you look at the possibility of using actual limestone?
Yes, and we're going to use actual limestone.
Oh,
Okay.
oh,
Okay,
So and I've got samples ordered for that.
okay, great.
But going back to the base there, is that on the courthouse itself, I'm gonna say, that's rock,
Yeah.
okay?
Is that granite? What is that?
I'm not sure.
It's rock.
It's rock, okay? So that's a stone.
Right.
Now, we're using a limestone, and we are gonna have blocks that are the same size.
Right.
That's what we're proposing,
mhm.
with a split face on the base of the porch and with a smooth face upon the face of the building. but it will have that natural stone texture, it'll have that natural stone veining. You'll have some, just, it won't be the same manufacturer's exact same color every piece. Okay?
That's good, yeah.
So we are all good with using the limestone, natural limestone.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Which is what we were just talking about?
That's what we're just talking
Oh,
about.
okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Well, I had two comments that, one is from folks that have seen, and it's what they've alluded to, is that most folks don't like the wire cut brick,
Okay,
and so would like to get something that looks older.
okay,
And then that's just comments people have made to me. And the other is my own personal thought, is that I thought the precast was too yellow,
yeah.
and it needed to be more the color of the Treasury building.
Oh,
Which
so
is a
that-
true
so
limestone.
That's the same thing I
Yeah.
just said too.
Okay.
There you go.
So we got that one checked off. Comments?
No, but I do appreciate you putting up the display, because
Oh,
those
yes.
size pieces really made it.
It's gotta be, this is such an
Yeah.
important decision, and we understand you've gotta get samples out there to make
Yeah,
that done.
but they
so.
were big enough that you could actually look at them and kind of see.
Yeah,
I thought
and-
that was very helpful.
It was
Okay.
very, very helpful.
So,
And then the other thing that that Mrs. White alluded to, that we definitely do need before we can grant approval, I mean, we need proportions of the columns and the base, we need the profile of the cornice, what that looks like, we need the profile of, you know, the height measurements and the different, where the cove molding's gonna be, what that's gonna look like at the top, how big that's gonna be, what the fascia, all those details. I mean, we have a very general drawing
mhm,
of what all this is going to be, but we don't have any of the details.
Okay.
We don't have any of that. We don't have, I guess we don't have window sizes, we don't have, I mean, I know you've shown us the type of window, and are those gonna be true divided light windows with the raised,
it's a simulated divided light, it's got the mountains on the outside and the inside, and the glass in
Permanently
between.
attached, I see.
Permanently attached,
Okay.
yes.
simulated, but that's.
Yeah,
and
but
I think
so-
that's
but insulated
allowed
glass.
within
That's,
our
that's
guidelines.
fine, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And,
And
that, you know, the scrolling down, you may have some of that detail there that we just are not.
No, we have not gotten to the point of doing building cross sections. This is showing material types and material colors.
and on the wrought iron, the pickets, I guess you call them, I don't know, do they have twisted features? Is that what I'm seeing?
That is just an example, that
Okay.
detail has not been
Okay,
vetted
because we
out
would need that
completely.
detail. I mean, I think something very plain would be appropriate, not
Okay.
any kind of
Mhm.
twisted detail.
Well, if you look at the rendering, it is, yes,
Yeah,
that's our
I saw
intent,
that
is
part.
that'd be a plane, okay?
What is it that we need to do tonight?
So let me, if it's okay, let me address some of the concerns, okay? So obviously, one of the large ones, the using the manufactured limestone versus real limestone, which we're gonna move to using the real limestone. And I'll get some samples in for you to see that as well, okay? Then let's talk about the brick, okay? Because we did think we were down the road on the brick, but we're where we need to be, we're where we are. So options are to go to a more historic looking brick, which is gonna change colors. So, just so happened. I brought more boards, okay? So, one of the styles that is used a lot in historic here is a tutored brick, okay? And this is a general show brick. Now, this is standard grade mortar, don't look at that, we'll have a color mortar that will help us with, define it with maybe different joints and stuff in it. But this right here is the Carrington tutor, and this is the Buckingham tutor, okay? And what we would propose, if you feel like this brick gives us that historic look, it's not a wire cut, okay? It has the rounded corners and stuff, okay? It gives us, we would propose to use the Carrington tutor on the east building, okay? It's more of a, it has some variation in color, but it's kind of more of a, thank you. Yeah, man. It has more of, it has more texture. We want not all one solid color, but it has some variety, but not
Yes.
as much as it has in this Buckingham. What we wanted to do is use the Buckingham on the west building, okay, and use this brick, okay, as the accent band, okay? Now, we will, again, on the different buildings, we'll have different mortar colors as well.
Would you be more of this mortar color?
Be more of that mortar color right there, exactly. And if, we would want each
Yeah.
building to have a little different color of mortar than the west building.
So instead of 3 brick, we'll have 2.
Instead of 3 brick, we'd have 2.
But you have a lot of variety in the colors.
And we have a lot of variety in the colors, just got the flashing that we would like to see, some in the older brick. And what we're gonna propose to do also is that the amount of banding on the west building, we want to reduce it from the previous submission.
I like it already.
Yeah, I like it.
That's better.
I'll look at it, but it's not up to me.
I know. And so that gives us, you see, I think what we're doing is a band at the bottom, then we're gonna do the window sills, the window head, and then the window sills, not the arch tops.
Yeah, that's an improvement.
That's a better.
That fits very well with our
Right.
aesthetic.
Okay?
Is there a general shell brick color that's closer to this than the 2 you brought? The orangish red, or not?
There is, I can pull, yes, we laid that brick in 91, 92. That's,
But this is the addition, this is the original courthouse.
is this the,
I don't know,
this is the addition,
Okay.
yes.
It's the color of it. It's just-
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So this brick is available?
I'll
Maybe.
double check to see if it is, but we thought the intent is not to match the courthouse.
That's right, you're
That's
right.
You're right.
You're right.
So we're trying our best to go away from that.
Yeah, it's just the general idea of it being
So,
not so flat.
I mean, I was just thinking with this building this part that's so far away from the courthouse.
Mhm.
That looks good.
But, I mean,
do you all feel that the Tudor brick gives us the historic look that we
Mhm.
need?
I do, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
I think that looks good. I think, I love the whole concept.
We like it, it's local, it's made in Roanoke.
Yes. Shall we do that?
No.
What's that?
Thumbs up, yeah. Yes, let's do it.
Thumbs up, not gonna work on that.
Well, we don't expect you all to make a decision based off of these sample panels with different colors. But we would like to have a fairly strong direction that the Tudor brick line is an acceptable upgrade from what's shown on the sample panel. And then we can,
Is
we'll
that
lay.
the same brick line as this?
It is not. That's a
Okay.
different brick line.
What is this?
I will have to go back and look and see. Okay.
Is this more antique looking, this line?
It is.
I feel like that one's antique, you know.
As a stonemason, you see these corners,
Yeah, I saw that.
so they have been tumbled a little bit. And so one of the things you'll gain from this is you'll get some of that texture I think you're looking for.
Right.
Yes.
So then you'll be able to those odd shapes of mortar lines versus, and like those in old buildings.
I'm thinking if we had the mortar color right, this would be.
Yeah, the mortar color's throwing you off.
I
The
think-
mortar's gonna be more like what they call a buff.
Buff.
Yes.
Straw.
Yeah, so instead of that
whatever brand
gray.
you're using. And that's picking up what used to be in our area where they used to use river bottom sand. And so you're bringing out those brown hues into the mortar, but that's all they had then versus the stark whites.
Yeah.
Yes,
Or light
or
colors.
that gray right there.
Yeah.
So what you're saying, I'm sorry, I think I interrupted you, Dick. You weren't expecting us to make decision on these boards, but you would.
We would like, we would like to get direction that a Tudor brick, like this brick, gives the historic look with the rounded corners, not as much as that brick, but still, a Tudor brick is an old brick style. If the Tudor brick line is acceptable, we think these two colors work well together. But the distinguishing the mortar will help, as Dwayne was saying, is with the mortar color that we
Yeah.
use.
Right.
And maybe even the top of joint that we use on the different buildings will give us some ability. And if you're good with these two brick, then we'll bring these in and we'll lay another sample.
Okay.
I think that'd be a good idea.
And you're totally correct, that we wouldn't want the
Even if you
same
just
exact
step
brick as on the addition
You know, like,
down,
get rid
right
of that,
down there.
like, just look at it with another color, changes
Yeah.
it completely.
and use the mortar and the mortar and the joint type to help offset the difference in the colors. And go to the 2 brick instead of 3.
Yeah.
Okay,
I mean, I think we're really close to just the agreement to it.
yeah.
So if you even look back up on the sample on the east that we laid the raw cord on top, you know, those 2 brick, they worked well together.
Yes,
I think we
yeah,
could-
they
I
did.
think we could have gone 2 brick with this brick up here if it wasn't for the shape.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Matter of fact, I love that combination up
Right.
there of the
Mhm.
color and
Mhm.
stuff. It's just, you can't get that shape.
Mhm.
I tried to find those colors in a more historic looking brick, but was not successful.
Right.
Okay.
Well, I mean, you know, with Dwayne pointing out the edges there being,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, you can see that's what
Rounded.
these are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
right,
It's where the corner, they basically just drop them off and it just hits it, just to give it a little bit of texture.
right, good.
And it's got the uneven face and it's not
Yes.
a wire cut.
Yes.
Right. looking.
That'll do it, I'm sure that'll do it, I think.
Yeah, y'all feel good about that?
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay, all right.
So,
What do we decide on the middle?
So is there any other concerns, obviously from my homework notes here is that we need to we'll get another sample plan laid with the tutor brick. We need to get more details on our proportions.
so
on our
what's the
stuff.
material, that's being used for what would normally be the wood trim at the top of the porch and the top of the building?
We're proposing to use FRP,
And that is?
reinforced fiberglass. It's a molded material that is meant to look historic and look like wood, but doesn't have the maintenance issues of wood if it rot and repainted.
So, is there any way we could see a sample of what that looks like, or, I mean, I think I asked you about this, the
Yes, sir, I'll answer that question.
Okay.
I did bring that one dental piece in on a previous meeting
Okay.
that showed that's what the material was made out of.
I think we thought it was okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, we gave it a thumbs up.
So, I mean, I've seen other buildings that did not use wood, where you see lots of separation seams and
Mhm.
it looks really bad.
Mhm.
So, I'm assuming this is not a product that does that.
It is a product that is molded and manufactured, and comes in certain lengths, so you do have seams as you go down through, that you would see those seams. They do not go away. We actually have to have it so it can expand in places as well.
Well,
Well, that would be the same thing with wood.
It's wood, but your joints just stagger. They're not just lined straight up in the wood. They stagger throughout, and the pieces come in different lengths. This will be uniform sections of the material that we come in. The joints are not bonded together, not filled, because it does
I guess
move.
for tonight's purposes, I'm not prepared to vote in favor of that. I mean, I
Okay.
need to do a little more research and think about that. I mean, that's gonna be a big part of, you don't pay so much attention to brick, you pay attention to the trim and the details. And so, I certainly have noticed on other buildings where it's obvious that that's not, it's not wood, it's not well done, it looks
Mhm.
bad. So I just wanna make sure we don't end up with that.
I will tell you, another building in town that has it is the new bank down on the corner.
Okay.
First Bank
that's a good-
Trust.
That'd be a good,
Okay.
that looks nice. I mean, I've
Mhm.
not looked at it
Yeah,
up
okay,
close.
so that's where we can go look at it?
Mhm.
The
Okay,
big bank there on the
Just
corner?
First Bank and Trust?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
all right.
okay. But I could also bring a sample. I could bring it Wednesday night when we go to the pizza place. I probably can't get it by then, I'll try. So, in order to get our certificate approved, we need some additional details on window sizes, on trim sizes and columns. We've talked about going to limestone. We're gonna work on the brick color.
When you
And we need to
said,
think
when you
about-
said limestone, are you referring to the foundation or the facade of that one building?
Both.
Okay,
They both would be natural limestone.
And one would be the, I guess, the.
Split
rust-
face, rock face.
Rust, that looks more like stone for the foundation.
For the
and then it would
foundation.
smooth
Mhm.
on the building.
the smooth on the building.
Smooth on the building. They call it split face or a rock face on the
Oh, okay.
base.
And the steps are gonna be poured concrete?
For concrete.
Okay.
And I'm I'm sorry, you were,
Well, what was, I'm gonna respectfully request to see if I can pull this together, if we could have a call meeting maybe in 2 weeks, so that we won't have to wait another full month to come in front of you again, if that's appropriate.
I think I'm sure we could get together if you can get those
Okay.
types of details by then.
Let me double check on the delivery on the limestone that I
Okay.
have coming, and I'll check on this tutor brick, so we can get those up and get that sample up. And I feel sure in 2 weeks we'll be able to have some dimensions, proportions on the windows in front.
Okay,
Okay.
certainly.
The trim at the top of that little limestone hyphen building,
Mm-hmm.
is that the reinforced fiberglass also?
It is.
And is that just like a simple band that goes around there? So, how does, what, on the Treasures building, on the sidewalls where the limestone ends, how is that trimmed out now? Is there a stone cap?
I think it has actual stone cap.
I know that's a very small detail, but it seems like that would really make a difference on the appearance if you're gonna have stone on the building and on the foundation, to have the little stone cap there instead of some sort of, reinforced fiberglass going
Okay.
around. It certainly wouldn't be an additional maintenance issue if it was gonna be stone. I mean, is that a possibility?
Yes,
I mean,
sir.
I'm not talking about anything elaborate, just
No, I
just a
understand.
little.
Yeah, I think that's a good suggestion. Yeah.
I just think that fiberglass cap's gonna really
Pop out.
cheapen it.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question? Since I wear a few hats, I don't know if this is the time. From a public work standpoint, like, you're showing curb and like a curb line on this, depiction. Existing there right now, there is no curb. It's just the sidewalk is flush with, are you anticipating any sidewalk work with this, this construction?
We
or-
don't anticipate the sidewalk edge or location sizes to change.
Okay. So
You
you
know,
will
by
just
the
basically
time we
tie to
get finished
existing-
working there, is there anticipate maybe some repair and some work? More than likely, yes. But as far as where the curb line is and everything, at this time, we're not anticipating changing that.
And the reason I brought that up is because district-wide, there's brick sidewalk, and that is that's one section that's concrete.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know if this is the manner in which I would address it, but as site plans go and as right-of-way encroachment happens and as things come online for that, I think from a public works standpoint, we'd like to see that curb and gutter restored there, that's been paved up to over time, to tie into our curb and gutter that exists on either side. And I didn't know if this is something the board would consider as a requirement or a recommendation to make that anything within that front of the structure to be brick sidewalk instead of the existing concrete, which I know both are allowed within the district. But I just, as a point to
Okay.
bring up.
Well, our anticipation, our plan would be that it would stay concrete and
Tie
add
the existing
tie over
sidewalk.
the concrete with the concrete steps, but we can advise us.
My term expires on September 1st, so if you can't get approval before then, you'll have to break in another architect.
We don't want to go there. So, all right, well, we'll push hard to get these samples and get another sample up. And a few more details on some dimensions, on the details for the columns and windows.
And we'll meet at your convenience.
Thank you very much. We'll go ahead and, we'll let everyone know how we're coming with that information and get that to Janice and hopefully get us a call meeting, okay?
All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you all.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Bill.
Thank you. All
I
right.
think you have 10 minutes to stay. I think you have 10 minutes to stay.
I guess the only other thing is we need to set another meeting for our next preservation plan workshop, is that right?
Yes. Because we didn't do that.
Good night.
Thank you.
Or we're gonna be meeting in 2 weeks, it sounds like we could do it then, since Mike's not here.
We could.
You wanna just do that?
What is the dates on, what is 2 weeks from now?
They're gonna ask us to come
No,
back.
no, no, where are we?
Well, we're on the 9th right now, so
23rd
Probably
is
the-
a.
And then we have another meeting on the 1st, so that's the week before, yeah, so that's a full week before our meeting, okay.
So you want to set it for Monday, the 23rd?
I mean, if they can get their information together, I guess we can look at that.
When's planning commission, Janice? When's planning commission? Is it Monday or Tuesday? Is it the 23rd or the 30th?
First, the last Monday.
The last
We've
Monday,
got another
okay,
week.
all right, yeah. Okay.
So I guess we just wait to hear from them before we set it, or do we want
Mhm.
But we're
We could
tentatively,
tentatively set it for
tentatively
that,
for the
yeah.
23rd?
or if they come back to Janice and say when work, we could look at the 23rd.
If they let me know, I'll let you all know, and you all can decide when you want to meet. I can let them know.
And in the meantime, we are meeting day after tomorrow
Down
at the pizza place. Okay.
For her set, right?
Yeah, for the set, right,
We need to get that on the website.
yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay, is there any new business? Business not on the agenda? Is there a motion to adjourn?
I motion, I move.
Is there a second?
A second.
All right, roll call.
Ms. Hartshorn,
Aye.
Mr. Weaver,